Yo, what's really? That old school look, check it out. I've been thinking about this, really just talking about things in marriage. I'm married, been married since 2017, so I'd say roughly 7 years, a little bit over 7 years. So I wanted to kind of come up with a list of five. Nothing, not no 20, 30, nothing like that, right? Just something quick and to the point, a list of five. Five things, just five. Five things that men should know before we get married. So five things that we should know before we get married. I'm pretty sure I can come up with like 1,000. To be honest with you, this isn't my experience. I feel like I'm new and used to this. So let's get into it. So the first thing is patience. You guys know patience is valuable. It's not nothing new. People talk about it a lot. Let me shed light on patience in a marriage from my experience. And I don't want to sound goofy like a lot of the people that kick that stuff to you on YouTube or whatever. So bear with me on this. I'm gonna try to be as authentic as possible. Patience is like this. There will be times that as a man you'll want something from your woman, right? It's a lot of different things you might want from your woman. Let's throw sex in there, right? Let's say you might want some loving. You know what I'm saying? You might want some loving, a little bit of attention, and your wife might be in a scenario where she's having a rough time at work. If your wife doesn't work, maybe some situations going on on her side of the family, or she might be unhappy with something, anything, right? And obviously that time of the month could be a roadblock for certain relationships. Some people that like to run the red light. That's your thing. That's your thing, right? So that's the baseline of patience, right? That's the baseline of patience. That's when you're probably going to get a no from her, right? Okay. People like to put out this example in marriages and in relationships, like, oh, I'm doing this for my man every day. And so much stuff happens when you are married and you're living with each other. So much life happens that you simply cannot listen to what you're seeing on your different YouTube channels or the people you follow on Instagram. It just doesn't work that way. These are scenarios, usually not real scenarios. So I need you guys to understand that one of the many things to take from this video is that all that other stuff is people making something to be eye-catching, to be funny, to be to go viral. This right here is real. This is what you play when you're thinking, when you're considering marriage and all that kind of stuff. I want to be one of the videos you play. Okay? So, and this goes to everybody. All right. Patience, right? We covered the base. We covered the base level, the basic level, right? I would say a sort of extreme version, or a little bit more difficult version of patience is when there is an argument that happens. It's a pretty big argument, and both of you guys are in a scenario where you really don't want to talk to each other. As a man, check it out. So as a man, she's looking for you. She's looking to you to break that and kind of and go in and start the conversation. That's just the reality of it. It is what it is. You're not Superman, but she's expecting you to come into that scenario and start the conversation. Be patient. It's going to be difficult. Be patient. Me and my wife had a spat a little while ago where she assumed that I was going to break the ice, and after a while I got it. And have I done that before? Plenty of times. But sometimes you still have to do it even when you know you're right. Sometimes your wife will do it. It is what it is. But there are times where you have to be patient in a marriage, man or woman. But we're talking about us men right now. There's times where we have to be patient and just woosah, hop in and go, yo, okay, I'm mad at you. You're mad at me. I feel like this is your fault, right? Or maybe it 100% is, right? We all have those scenarios where the wife might get mad at us because we mad at them, right? I can make a video about that. But again, that's where we're at. Be patient. Situations like that will happen where you need to just turn it off and hop in and really get active and try to get to the bottom of situations before they drag on. Our spat dragged on for way too long. So I know in the future, we both know we came up with a plan of how we're going to handle that. But in the future, we're not letting that happen again. I'm not letting it happen again, right? So these are all different variances, right? Different levels of arguments and stuff like that, and situations where you need to have patience. Number 2 is the ability to pivot. So there's a few examples I have. I'm going to be clear and as to the point as possible in this video because I'm king of the ramble. I will ramble. Ability to pivot. This is something that I learned as time went. I didn't learn this before in like standard relationships. I learned this in marriage. Over time, you guys grow, and your wife will change. There'll be things that used to be funny. For example, me and my wife. My wife likes to laugh at jokes. Even if they're about her, they crack her up, right? Just the funny, just the light humor, you know what I mean? Just the quick light humor. Maybe she bumps into something and you guys laugh, something like that, right? Well, I grew up doing a lot of roasting when I grew up, right? The funny thing my dad would do is while my dad was yelling at you, if he was mad at you, as a kid, he's correcting, your behavior. He would say stuff that was actually funny. So you would actually be trying not to laugh while he's, yelling at you in a sense, right? He's correcting your whatever you're doing. And there'd be times where he's telling my little sister, why'd you, and I'm listening and he's saying the funniest, cause he's roasting too. And I just come from that environment where, you go to school and your clothes ain't looking right. There's certain places you can't walk because they're going to flame you. Right. So I came up that way and I'm really into humor. I'm really into comedy and it worked for a while. Long story short, my wife has grown and changed. So there are a lot of jokes and a lot of things that I can't say to her anymore. And at first I took that as an attack on me, but it was not. Your ability to pivot as you grow is, you're realizing that both of you are changing and different things you don't like, different things you do like, and things you don't like anymore. You never know what feelings people are harboring about certain things. So over time, there's a possibility, forget possibility. There are things that will change about your wife. You may or may not notice it. It may or may not be a big deal. It may or may not be important, but it will happen. The third thing is balance. Let's talk 50-50. 50-50 sounds great, but in a marriage, if you guys are both working, 50-50 goes up and down. And it's not just financial. 50-50 goes up and down. Whether it's paying bills, it just doesn't matter. You're entertaining the kids, you're picking up kids from school, you're cooking, you're cleaning, it goes up and goes down. Prime example. If I'm let's say today I came home and I'm super tired, I'm not worth the damn today. I need to go lay in the bed. It is what it is. I might say, hey babe, can you handle our son first? I got to take a nap. I'm tired. So now it's up to her to more than likely cook, to more than likely clean, and to manage a 4-year-old. right at the same time. Some of you guys are like, man, my wife does it anyway. That's fine. That's fine. But some of us, we both are kind of going 50-50, right? And we're trying to balance things out. So balance tends to go off and on depending upon the time of day. If my wife's got an outing, there's a company get together, right? And she's out with the work ladies and she's doing her thing, right? The ladies from work, and she's not coming home till 10. All of the things that we would be splitting in half that night, I'm doing, right? And that's fine because we signed up to do. We got married, we had the kid, right? And like I said, we have another one on the way. So 50-50, it sounds great. And it is, there are certain things that are 50-50 certain times of the day. It's not even a 50-50. I want you guys to understand that when it comes to balancing, 50-50 is like when you overall go back and look at the relationship, sometimes you go, oh, it's kind of 50-50. But it's when you get married, 50-50 is not a discussion of finances. It's like a state of being, and it changes every hour. Because when you're married, you have kids, like there's times where my wife is like, listen, I got to go lay down. I'm tired, right? Just like the example I gave you earlier. And can you take him somewhere, or can you, whatever. And there are times when my wife is like, yo, you seem sleepy, or you seem like you needed to go shoot a video, or you might need time to yourself, right? Like right now, perfect example. My wife is gone with my son. They are at my in-laws' house, right? So they gave me time to shoot this video without getting interruptions. It'd be a whole thing, right? And the reason why she left to do it is my son is 4. He don't care nothing about daddy shooting the video. No. And I'm not going to not let him come in this room. You get what I'm saying? So working together and coming up with these ideas. Now, if she has a get together or something going on tomorrow, same thing, right? We want to make sure we have the ability to entertain each other, to go out, make time for ourselves. But we also want to make sure that we have that balance, right? We have our kid, things have to be balanced out. So balance is a big deal, and the 50-50 is ever changing. The next thing, fellas, this is big for us, big for me. I ain't gonna lie. Being able to open up and express feelings, right? That's a tough one. And I know that's a tough one because this is assuming that you are with a woman that, like, please tell me you're with a woman that would be okay with this, right? This is assuming you found and courted and are looking to marry a woman that champions your feelings, that respects them, that does not make you feel less than for you to express them, right? And I know I got a lot of friends that are not going to tell women how they feel, like their deepest feelings about stuff, because they're very used to either her using them against them, shooting them down immediately. The list goes on. If that's who you're watching this video for, watch another video, because that's counseling that she needs to take. That's growth she needs to go about herself. She needs therapy herself. A lot of women that you guys are going to meet, they don't have a healthy or a proper image of what a man is in their mind. A man in their mind is something they saw on TV, right? And in reality, as you grow, even when you're married, you realize that, like, you really look at each other and you go, damn, we're just people. All that macho man stuff left when we were dating. All that left. What's left is a protector, a provider, a nurturer, and somebody that's open to expressing feelings and understanding hers. Somebody that builds, a father. You get what I'm saying? So once you peel back that shell and you peel back the banana peel, you can get the banana. You understand me? For my son is here. You know? But no, yeah. Once you peel all that shell away, you peel that cover, you get the real thing. And what you have to find out is, Are you able to show up? Is that enough? What's under the shell? Is that enough? And that's what men are afraid of is the real me enough for you? So you need to be able to express your feelings. As a grown ass man to a grown ass woman, you should be able to do that. And she should champion your feelings, respect them, so on and so forth. But even if she's respectable and she can do that, now it's up to you to make sure she knows how you feel, to make sure you are forthcoming with her and you open up. If you don't do that, she's not going to know what the hell's going on, and that's not going to be her fault. You get what I'm saying? So if she did her part by allowing you the room to do it and a safe place to do it, she doesn't judge you. She doesn't treat you any different. She has a healthy view of what a man is. That's it. To me, that's like she already got points, in my opinion. That's a big one. The next one is, man, I'm still learning this. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm working on it. I'm practicing it. It's not, God ain't done with me yet. It's a whole thing for me. But fellas, argue. Number 5 is argue to learn. And this is something that, like I said, these are not just for us. These are for everybody. Women and men can both learn from this. But I'm talking to you fellas. Argue to learn. Here's what I mean by that. If you are having arguments and your arguments are one ear out the other, you're not learning anything from the arguments. If you're not learning from anything from the arguments, there's no general takeaways, there's nothing you're going to change after, then you need to question why you're arguing, first of all. Prime example. Let's say I do what I said in the beginning and I make a joke, right? I make a joke at my wife's expense. It's a little bit too deep for her. It might have been something that nipped at her feelings. And she got a little attitude. She feels a way. And she expresses to me, hey, I didn't like what you said. I think that was rude. Da-da-da-da. We get into an argument because obviously I didn't say it to hurt her feelings, right? So there you go. Got that back and forth. If at the end of that argument, the thing you took away from that is, I don't know why she felt that way because I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to hurt her feelings. Then you're not arguing to learn. The reason why I came up with number 2, the ability to pivot, is because I learned something from an argument. Well, a series of arguments. Don't give me the line. It was a series of arguments, right? This happened a number of times. Like I said, God ain't done with me yet. I'm just trying. So, if you're not learning from the argument, it's probably not worth arguing over. And you'll have a lot of arguments that are like that. That's a reality. Where when you get done, you remember what I said and you go back and you just think about the argument and you go, well, shut up. Why did we argue about that? And you probably shouldn't have argued about it. Here's the takeaway, though, because there's always a takeaway from an argument. If you argue about something and at the end you go, I didn't even learn anything from it, here's the thing you should take away from it. I shouldn't be arguing about that anymore in the future. Right? So let's not make that a thing we argue about. When you get done arguing about, you said something to her, you go back and forth, and at the end of the day, if you hurt her feelings, think about the thing that you said. Try not to do that again. It hurts feelings. You're not going to win that. And if you think you won it, you didn't win it. If you say something to somebody hurts their feelings, that's never their fault. You get what I'm saying? So the ability to argue to learn. And I don't mean blatantly go out there and argue. I mean learn something from an argument, especially big arguments. And it's not, like I said, it's not just you learning from it. It's both of you guys. If she's mad at you for something, you said you did something wrong. She's learning why she didn't like that. She's learning why it's not right. She's learning how it made her feel. On your end, you're learning how to not do that again, how it made her feel, why she feels that way. So you have a reason now to go, you know what? This ain't cool. You know, these are my 5, man. These are big ones that I learned over time. One or more of them, I'm still learning. I'm not going to tell you all. It is what it is, but that's just the reality of it. You have to learn. You have to learn when you argue. You have to be open to share your feelings and open about what's going on in your life. You have to be open to balance. 50-50 is great, but it'll oftentimes change throughout the day. And you have to have that ability to pivot, because different things pop up in life and you need to, you got the left and the right turns. Think about yourself with the basketball, right? And you got that one foot planted. You can only move that other foot as long as you have that ball, but you have to be able to pivot. And you guys will do that together. You guys both have to know how to do that. And the last thing, patience. Patience is, to me, that's number one, because I hope you learn that in life already. And if you don't have that, that is a therapy type of thing. That's a thing where you got to go sit down and learn it. There's people I met that do not have it. And it's because of how they were raised a lot of the times, or situations they've been in. And just remember, there are situations that you might need to go see. You might need to go sit down with a therapist, and that's okay. But it's therapy or no marriage. I'm going to take therapy. I'm just, that's that's my whole thing. So I'm going to take therapy, and I'm going to learn, I'm all about mental health. So you guys take from this what what makes sense for you. Hopefully you take all of it, but take what makes sense for you, implement that into your relationships. Think about that. These are 5 things that you need to know. These are tools you need to have before marriage. Like and subscribe. Holla at your boy.